Hello, this is John Long of Queen Bread and Cheese Creek. Today we're surveying the Berkshire section of Bread and Cheese Creek, which is where our next cleanup is going to be on September 15th. Last time we went extremely far to the west on our cleanup of the Berkshire area, so this time we're going to start at a midpoint and we're going to break into two teams. One is going to go straight down Bread and Cheese Creek proper, and the other one is going to take the Berkshire Road tributary, which we really need to tackle and focus a lot on this time. So we're mainly starting just a little bit far west of the pedestrian bridge in the Berkshire area. And we're going to play one of my favorite, well, I shouldn't say favorite games this time, as we always play, called Count the Shopping Carts. So people can see how many shopping carts actually wind up in this little bitty waterway. So the Berkshire community is a very densely populated area. And the biggest problem with the Berkshires is the fact of, once again, it always comes down to stormwater management. All of the alleys and streets and people's backyards are designed to drain directly into the creek with minimal or no buffer whatsoever. So anytime you have a rain event, you're going to wind up with anything that's in the alleyway, left behind by trashmen, overflowing from dumpsters, that's going to end up in the creek. And you know what happens if we don't take it out of the creek? Well, then it ends up in Chesapeake Bay and Back River. There's our first shopping cart of the day. So we're up to one. And we got a bike, we got a Nerf ball gun, somebody's broken hummingbird feeder, and as always, tons and tons of fast food trash and broken toys. Lots and lots of cans, lots and lots of bottles, and tons of plastic bottles. And, of course, one of our favorite creatures we find in the stream, which is plastic bags. Okay, as we go on and continue, we just passed under the pedestrian bridge, which we're just going to start a little bit further west of that, as I said. The reason for that is because west of that, it is almost 90% clean. There's a lot of private homeowners in that area, and I've got to give them full kudos. Since we did our last cleanup of the Berkshire area, and even before that, they have really done a stellar job on keeping this area clean. As we continue down this area, you're going to find shopping cart number 2. These shopping carts, you know, as you can see, wind up, not only do they cause damage in the stream, but they also cause these little jam-ups. And if these jam-ups aren't removed, what happens is they wind up becoming big jam-ups. And that means that it causes more erosion on the roadsides, and it also causes the trash to be stuck in areas and causing health problems. So there are a lot of children that play in this stream, that play in Bread and Cheese Creek in general. And it's very important we try and keep them a clean outdoor living space for them to play in. Snow shovel. It's always been one of my things. I grew up on the stream, and when I grew up on the stream, it was absolutely beautiful. I mean, every once in a while, you'd see a bottle or something, but not like it is now. And once again, a lot of it's because we've become such a disposable society. And there is shopping cart number 3. Don't worry, pal. You'll see, friends, you'll see a lot more of these. Bread and Cheese Creek, and I've said it before, but if this is your first time turning in as a historic creek, for years many people mistook it as a stormwater drainage, but it's not. During the War of 1812, it had a large part in the battle. Firstly, the Methodist Meeting House, which is further down in the North Point section, was what the British took over as their headquarters, and it was also used as a field hospital for both sides during the battle. On the opposite side of the stream is where the Maryland militia used as a rallying point to make their final attack against the British, which caused the British to withdraw, among the fact that Bread and Cheese Creek was also, it was surmised, used by the two young heroes, Wells and McComas, to sneak up on the British and spy their position. When they did this, they were lucky enough to see General Ross coming out of breakfast. And the two of them looked at each other and said to themselves, do we take a chance? Because they knew that if they fired on him, they were dead. They had hundreds of the most well-trained shooters in the modern world at that point in time up against two farm boys. And they knew that they only had probably one chance. They took it, and he was shot through the arm and through the chest, and within 24 hours he died, demoralizing his army and causing them to cease the attack. What a lot of people don't realize is how important the Battle of North Point was and Bread and Cheese Creek. We focused a lot on Fort McHenry and how it withstood the battle, but if the British had been able to make their land invasion, there's no way it would have stood up. Because the British were going to sneak around behind Fort McHenry, and then the American defenders would have had to have defended on two fronts. And there's no way they could have done that. Not with the lack of resources. Think about it this way, fellow people from the Dundalk area. Washington, D.C. was defended by the best army we had at that time of the United States. And what happened to it during the War of 1812? It was burned to the ground. Baltimore was defended by mostly militia, volunteers, farmers, everyday working people, like you and me. Guess what? Baltimore didn't get burned by them. We beat them back. They gave up. So, I don't think that we can ever overestimate the value of our volunteers. We're going past under the road underpass. Now, on the way up, I saw a nice female snapping turtle here, and I hope she's still down here. So I'd love to get a shot of her for you guys. I'm going to try and keep the echoing down a little as we go through this tunnel. Animals are yet another reason why Bread and Cheese Creek is so important. When we first started cleaning up Bread and Cheese Creek back in 2009, it was an abysmal trash heap, and it's gotten so much better. We've seen minnows, tadpoles, bullfrogs, turtles, salamanders, all coming back. And that's a wonderful thing. Last summer, for the first time, and since I can remember, I saw a father and his children walking along the stream, catching minnows for bait. So, as we continue on, we've come through the underpass, we're going to see some more of our favorite creatures, the shopping carts. As we get up to the Berkshire Road tributary, we're going to go off to that side too, so you can see how horrible that section is. Now remember, Clean Bread and Cheese Creek is nothing but volunteers. All of us are volunteers. Not a single person gets paid a cent. We're a non-profit organization. Nobody, the board of directors, me, Vice President Raina, who just had her first child a few days ago. Congratulations, Raina. Little Logan. Our secretary, Aaron Murphy, Long. Our treasurer, which is Michelle Barth. Our webmaster, Christy Callender, incredibly talented lady, and designer, also just had a baby a few days ago, named Coraline. Cora for short. So, if you see them at any events, wish them a congratulations. As you can see, once again, it looks like another major problem that we have in this area is not as much residences throwing trash and debris in the stream as out-of-area contractors. Somebody will hire them to do a remodeling job. They'll charge the homeowner a disposal fee, and then they'll pretend like they're taking it to the dump, and in fact they won't. So this is shot, I think I forgot the count number 4 back there. This is number 5 as we continue on. And you can see the type of debris this is washed in. It's pretty easy to see that. Dundalk area has some of the most archaic stormwater management laws in the area. There's no buffer zones, and everything is draining directly into the creek, which means that all of this trash and all this debris is going to go straight into Back River in the Chesapeake Bay. Here's number 6, and right next to it, we have number 7. Now, shopping carts, when you buy them in quantity, cost between $200 to $300 a piece. Yeah, hard to believe they're that much. A coin return system, like BJ's has, costs an additional $10 to $15 per shopping cart. Aldi's also has the 1/4 coin return system. You put a quarter in, it unlocks, you use it. Guess what? We've never found a shopping cart from Aldi's or from BJ's. And here's number 7. Or is it 8? 7, 8, somewhere in that neighborhood. We'll call it 7 just to be, underestimated. Now, the other thing, Shoppers uses a magnetic lock system, which costs $10 to $15 per cart, which means they have magnetic locks installed in the wheels, and they've got a locking system in the ground. So when you roll over a certain demarcated line in the parking lot, all 4 wheels will lock solid, and then a Shoppers employee has to unlock them so people can't steal their carts that way. We've never found a Shoppers shopping cart. Go figure. Now, in a lot of states, most states in fact, there are fines against shopping carts because it causes people to, I should say organizations, to actually watch their shopping carts better. I have seen shopping carts being pushed away from grocery stores in this area while the employees just sit there and do nothing about it. What most states do is they usually will call the grocery store or shop and say, hey, you've got one of your shopping carts at XYZ location. That's a skateboard. And then they will come by and have 24 hours to pick them up. If they don't, the county, usually under code enforcement, will pick up the shopping cart for them and charge them a $100 fine to return it to them. Now, the argument has gone in the past, I've said, well, that fine is going to be cost groceries to go up for shoppers. Well, not really if you think about it, because if they have to buy a new shopping cart, it's going to cost them $200 to $300. To have one returned to them, it's going to cost them $100. So it's actually less money for the store than it is. So it would be less money going to the person who is a shopper. Now there is number 7 or 8 and a trash can lid. Now we're going to go down to the Berkshire Road tributary. Oh, there's another one. You can barely see it. It's the wheel. Number 8. This tributary we tackled before, but we didn't get very far in it because of lack of manpower and resources. So we're really going to concentrate on it this time. As you can see, it is absolutely atrocious. I'm not going to walk up the tributary because it's pretty cluttered with lots of sticks and other debris. But I'm going to show you a bird's eye view of it as we go through. So like I said, we're going to split our team into 2 crews. So that way we can really concentrate on getting this knocked out thoroughly this time. I think we made it about halfway down this tributary last time before we ran out of time and resources. But this time we're going to hit it full on, best we can. We are paralleling Berkshire Road with this one. I'm just trying to give you different views of this big trash glut here. And as we continue on, we have shopping cart number 9. And it looks like that shopping cart's been there a while, but guess what? With the amount of sediment that comes through this stream, it doesn't take long for them to get that quickly buried. The sediment is, how shall I say, one of the number 1 problems for the Chesapeake Bay. One of the TMDLs is limited, and guess what? A ton of it comes from Bread and Cheese Creek. Bread and Cheese Creek is a little stream. It is not designed by Mother Nature to take the amount and the force of water that comes through it. And unfortunately, what happens is it carves out the sides, and you have homeowners that lose property. You have, I'm going to have to go up and around again on this side. You have lots of items that wash into the stream that wouldn't have been already in the stream. And it causes huge amounts of mud, debris, and sediment, and everything that washes along with it. There's number 8, shopping cart. So what we need to do is we need to make it follow the modern stormwater management laws, which we're not currently doing, unfortunately. If you see any of my videos showing the stormwater incidences along Bread and Cheese Creek, you will see that the water is a chocolate brown. And once again, that's from the amount of sediment coming down. Once again, we're going along the Berkshire Road tributary of Bread and Cheese Creek. And you can see this is going to have to be a major thing to tackle. What we're going to need is the day before we do the cleanup, we're going to need people to come out on Friday, and hopefully Steps will give us another Argo crew, shopping cart number 9, to get rid of a lot of this. The trees that have been blocked, and they'll pull the larger shopping carts and stuff out of it. Now you can see the tributary becomes dry here, but it's still glutted with trash. So we still need to tackle this. It's part of a TV set. Because when it gets to be rainy season again, we get a significant amount of events from the water. It's going to all wash down into Bread and Cheese Creek. Now, here I am at the end of this tributary. You can see how abysmal it is. So we're going to have to put a crew right at the top of that hill in order for people to be able to see. And we can extract trash from this alley. Now, I'm going to discontinue the video right here and we'll do part 2 once I get back, so you don't have to see the same trash and debris again at the mouth of this tributary. This is John Long with Clean Bread and Cheese Creek. Today is June 23rd, and we are previewing the Berkshire section of Bread and Cheese Creek, which is where we're going to be doing our September 15th cleanup. Be back with you in a second.